Now the cameras, the microphone's on, right?
Yes.
Okay, gentlemen, I'm going to do the abbreviated learning sponsorships this morning again because our time is fleeing. Okay. Year of Learning, Friends of Marvin Weinstein, Sarah Alpert in memory of her husband, Bella and David Adler in memory of her father, Friends of Honey Heifetz, Friends of Jack Prince, Friends of Sandy Davidoff, Friends of Judy Cohen, Friends of Dr. Annette Safransky, Yael and Leslie Kaplan in memory of their parents, Friends of Linda Katz, Lee and Harvey Greenberg in memory of their parents, Friends of Rochelle Ebner, Ike and Evelyn Blachler in memory of his sister, Dr. Phyllis Pacheco, Month of Learning, David and Hannah Grunblatt in memory of his father, Marcia Fetterbush in memory of her father, Ruvain and Susan Podolsky in memory of his mother. We have a day of learning today being yesterday was the 30th, right? Okay, so we did that. And today is the 31st. There is no individual days of learning today. And the Shem is having a Aliyah, Krank, Rafia, Velti, Yashir, Shem, Atliya, Chol, B'nai Israel, a good gebenched Yah. Okay? All right, we have the today. First of all, the good news is that today's Gemara isn't as difficult as yesterday. The bad news is it's longer than yesterday.
Less time.
And we have less time. Okay? So we will start. We will try to go through with as much as we can in the limited time, in the time we have available. Okay? So where are we today? Okay, Yud Daled? Yes. Okay.
Top line.
So I'm just going to finish up from the very bottom, real quick as our review and intro. Okay, the bottom of Yud Gimel Amud Bet. The question was they were praising Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava. Why? Because were it not for him, it's possible that they would have forgotten all of the issues of fines in Eretz Yisrael. Fines, forget it. So they didn't know they could have learned it again. No. Ela bitlu dinei kanasot Israel. Top of Yud Daled, Amud Aleph. Rather, they could have accidentally abolished all of the fines. Why? Okay, because of what we're going to see in a moment. All right. Why was that the case? Shapam echad gzara malchut harsha'a gzera al Yisrael. Because one time, okay, the evil empire sounds like Star Wars, right? Okay, it was Rome. Okay, made a decree against the Jewish people. This was part of a number of the Hadrianic decrees, by the way. Okay, what happened is that Shekol Hasomech Yehareg, that anyone who performs the act of ordination on somebody, Bechol Hanismach, and those that became ordained, Yehareg will become killed. Ve'ir Shesomchin Ba, and a city that is close to it, Techarev, will be destroyed. Utchumim Shesomchin Bahem, and the Shabbos boundaries or in general boundaries, okay, would be uprooted. Yakru. Okay. Uma asa Yehuda Bava, what did he do? Famous piece of Agadata, right? Halach v'yashav lo ben shnei harim gedolim. He went and sat between two large mountains. Ben shtei ayarot gedolot, between two large cities. Uben shtei tchumei Shabbat, and between two Sabbath boundaries, right? Namely, Ben Usha l'Shafarim, right? Okay, you remember Usha at one point was the seat of the Sanhedrin for a while. Okay, so these are two locations up in the north, in the Galilee. Okay, V'samach sham chamisha zakenim, and there he ordained 5 elders. Okay, Ve'eluhain, and these are the ones we're referring to: Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Elazar ben Shamoa. Okay, what? Big guys, right? Rav Avia, right? The son of, right? So what happens? Mosif Af, okay, and Rav Avia adds an additional one, Af Rabbi Nehemiah, Kevan shehekiru oivehem. But the Gemara goes on and tells us, however, once their enemies discovered them, Amar lahem, said to them, okay? In other words, Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba said to his students that he had just ordained, okay, Banai Rutsu, run, get out of here. Amrulo, he said to them. Okay, and they responded back to him, Rebbe Matehe Alecha, what's going to happen to you? All right, Amar lehen, he said to them, Hareini mutal lifnehem ke'evan. I will remain here solid like a stone. Different explanations of whether he was going to block the enemy, or they figured that by his staying there, they would attack him first, and that would again still delay and give them, the students, more time to go and run. What? Shelo she'en la hofchim. I'll be like a stone that cannot be moved, cannot be turned over. Right? Amru. So they said, Lo, no. Okay. Zazu misham ad shena'atzu bo shalosh me'ot. Okay. Lun bi'ot. Okay. What happens? No. He said, and they, lo, zazu misham, he did not move. Okay. Or really, that was the Romans did not move from there. Ad shena'atzu bo shalosh me'ot lun bi'ot. Until they pierced him with 300 Roman spears and made him like a sieve. Va'asahu kiv bara. Okay, story goes on. Okay, Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba, achrine havu behedje. Okay, v'hai delo choshiv laho mishum kvodo. Okay, but the Gemara tells us Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba, there were others along with him at this ordination. So in other words, on the one hand, we thought it meant that what we were discussing before is that a single person could do the ordination. And now, from this story, we would have thought that that was proof of that example. That's not the case, because the Gemara is telling us that there were other people along with him there. Okay, and so we ask normally, logic, why weren't they mentioned if he wasn't the only one being the masmich? Okay, right? Havu behade, along with him. Vahai delo chashiv laho. And the fact that they did not consider him or include them in there by name, mishum kvodo de Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba, because of the honor that they wanted to extend to Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba. Okay? V'Rabbi Meir, v'Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba Samche. You're saying that Rabbi Meir received his smicha from Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba? Says the Gemara, hold on a second. Vaha amar Rabba bar Chana, amar Rabbi Yochanan. Didn't Rabba bar Chana say in the name of Rabbi Yochanan? Kol ha'omer Rabbi Meir lo samchu Rabbi Akiva, eno ela to'eh. That whoever says that Rabbi Meir didn't receive his smicha from Rabbi Akiva, okay, it's making a mistake. So the Gemara explains to us what happened. Samche Rabbi Akiva velo kible. That when Rabbi Meir was young, Rabbi Akiva had given him his smicha, but the community did not accept him, okay, in that of that status as a sage, as among the elder sages. But what happened, right? Velo kiblu. Samche Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba, but later on Rabbi Meir was older, okay, and more accepted, okay, and therefore they accepted him. I will throw out, I didn't see it in Art Scroll, I didn't see it in Koren Steinsaltz, but remember Rabbi Meir was one of the only sages that continued to learn with Acher. And I'm wondering if that had any, I'm just throwing this out, okay, had any implications as to why he may not have been accepted earlier, but was accepted later. Okay, just a thought. That's my own chiddush. Okay, all right, let's go on. Amar Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, he says. We go on. Ein smicha b'chutz la'aretz. This is an interesting problem. Okay, we're saying that there is no okay. okay, ordination outside the land of Israel. Now, some want to explain that this means there's no ordination for the purpose of Dinei Knasot, since that's what we saw earlier when it said that somebody received their ordination and that you could get them to do that. Okay? Mai, what do we mean? En smicha? How can we say that there's no ordination? Ilema de lo dine dine knasot klal b'chutz la'aretz. If we're saying that one does not make judgments regarding fines outside the land of Israel. Vahatznan, but aren't we taught elsewhere in a Mishnah, Sanhedrin, Bein Ba'aretz, Bein B'chutz La'aretz, that the authority of the Beis Din Hagadol, the Sanhedrin, applies whether it's in the land of Israel or outside the land of Israel. Ella, rather, the lo samchinin b'chutz la'aretz, that we say we do not ordain outside the land of Israel, and we're here referring to smicha from the Nasi. Okay, that's the point. Okay, based on the Sanhedrin, right? Pshita, it's obvious. Samchinen b'chutz la'aretz v'nismachin ba'aretz. Okay, no, what we're talking about, it's obvious, is that smicha being done in the land, but the potential musmach is located outside of the land of Israel. That's what we're talking about here. Okay? V'nismachin ba'aretz ha'amrinan, but don't we say below that in that case you cannot do it? Ela somchin ba'aretz v'nismachin b'chutz la'aretz. No, but you can say that they do smicha in the land of Israel, and the potential musmachim may be outside the land of Israel. Mai, what are we talking about then? In other words, how is it possible to receive ordination unless one is in the presence of the one conferring it? Okay? Tashma, what says the Gemara? The Rabbi Yochanan hava mitztaer, alei the Rav Shimon bar Abba, that Rabbi Yochanan was unhappy that he was not able to grant smicha to Rav Shimon bar Abba, the lo hava gabayhu the lismiche, because he was not in close proximity. He wasn't there in the land. He was in close proximity to him to give him smicha. So this seems to support the item that we're talking about, smicha in the land of Israel to the potential musmachim outside. Rabbi Shimon ben Zerah. Okay, another one.
Unless he had long arms.
What?
Unless he had very long arms.
Okay, and also another along with him. Mano, and who was that? Rabbi Yonatan ben Achmai. Va'amrela, and others say Rabbi Yonatan ben Achmai, that it was Rabbi Yonatan ben Achmai, v'chad de'ime, and another with him, Umano, and who was that? Rabbi Shimon ben Zerod. Chad dahava gabayhu, that namely one was in proximity to him, right? Samchuhu, and he ordained him. V'chad delo hava gabayhu, and another who wasn't in proximity to him, right? Lo samchuhu, he was not able to ordain him. Okay. Now, Rabbi Chanina Rabbi Yoshaya. Okay. Hava Rabbi Yoshaya. Hava ka mishtakid. Okay, they were. I'm just trying to find my note. I'm sorry.
He wanted to determine.
Right. They wanted to, right? Okay. He was.
Below having Messiah knows, but it didn't work out.
Right. He was. Oh, okay. Thank you. He was persistent or eager to give him smicha, right? Right, but that didn't work out. Rabbi Yochanan lemistachinhu. Rabbi Yochanan wanted to give him smicha, but it didn't work out, right? And that's what it said. Lo hava mistayeya milta, but the it couldn't be accomplished, right? Hava kam mitztaer tuva. He was extremely unhappy about it, but the two of them said amrule. They told him to Rabbi Yochanan, lo mitztaer mar, that the master should not be unhappy. Why? The anan mi debate Eli ka'atinan, that we come from the house of Eli. Okay, right? And what did it say? The Amar Shmuel Bar Nachman. Okay, as Shmuel Bar Nachman said, Amar Rabbi Yonatan, in the name of Rabbi Yonatan, Minayan she'ein nismachin lebeit Eli. How do we know that progeny, heirs of the house of Eli are not to get ordained? Shnei Amar lo yeh zaken beveitecha kol hayamim. That there will not be any elder. Okay, in other words, they were all going to die young. But the term zaken here has a double meaning. Not only that there won't be any elders, but there won't be a zaken, a ordained sage either in the family of Eli. Okay, so double play on the word zaken. My zaken, and that's what the Gemara wants us to understand. What do we mean here by zaken? Ilem zaken mamash. If we mean elderly in essence by itself, v'haktiv. What?
But they're going to die young.
Right? Exactly. V'hakativ. Kol marbit veitecha yamutu anashim. All those that are produced from your family will die. Ela smicha. But we're talking zaken here in terms of ordination. Okay? What? So we go on now. Rabbi Zera hava mitmar lemismachei. Rabbi Zera was trying to hide himself from receiving ordination. The Amar Rabbi Elazar, because he had heard from Rabbi Elazar, leolam have kabel v'kayam. Okay, that a person should be. Okay, should be in the dark. Okay, namely, he should be out of sight and live his life accordingly. In other words, should be low key. All right, not show off, not haughty, etc., etc. Okay, right, right. Okay, okay. However, kevan de shem'a laha the Amar Rabbi Elazar, but once he heard later on another statement of Rabbi Elazar's. Ein Adam ole ligdula ela im kein mochlin lo al kol avonotav. Okay. Once he heard that a person does not reach certain heights of acceptance and awareness, okay, and practice because unless Hashem has forgiven him for his supposed humility. So I'm going to translate it that way. Amtzi le anafshe. He made more of an effort to get himself ordained. Right? Ki samchuha the Rabbi Zera Shari. When they ordained Rabbi Zera, they sang about him. Hachi lo kechol. He does not need eye makeup. Velo sharak. He does not need facial makeup. Velo pirchus. He doesn't need hair dye. Okay? V'ya'alehen. Okay, and nevertheless, without any embellishments, he always found chen, always found grace before the people.
He's like a bride.
Okay? Ki samchu ala Rabbi Ami, ula Rabbi Asi, when they did ordination for Rabbis Ami and Asi. Okay? Sharu laho, they sang to them, Havi kol min din. Kol min din samhuchu. Lana. Okay, let anyone like this receive smicha. Anyone like this, right? Have authority over us. Lo tismachu lana, lo masrimitin. They should not ordain for us people that are like rags. In other words, that they can't explain well. Okay, velo misarmisin, and not people who are distorters, that they don't invert the logic connected with the explanation. Va'amre la lo machmisin velo meturmisin, and again, not those that people that are robbers or those that tramplers. Okay, Rabbi Avihu behava ate le mimitifta. When Rabbi Abahu would come back from the academy, Lebe Kesar, and come to the household of the the Roman authority. Okay, nafku mitronita the Kesar. Out came the maidens, the women of the house of the Caesar, right, of the Roman authority, and they would sing about him the following: Rabba de Ame, great of the nation, Barna de Umte, okay, the leader of the people, right? Botsina de Nahara, the one like a lit candle, okay, things like that. Barech matayech l'shalem, okay, may you always be blessed with peace, right?
How do you translate the word Butsina then?
Botsina de Nahara,
Butsina by itself.
that the bright like the candle. The Naora is the candle. Butsina, light, right? Butsina is it's like the candle, whatever the light is.
Illuminating.
Illumination. Illumination, if you want to be fancy.
Also means illumination.
Right. Okay. All right. If we now finish that section, we're going to get to a new piece from the still trying to move along as fast as I can. Arifat Egla Bishlosha. Remember, this was the Egla Arufa that had to be measured from the appropriate city, and a number of sages had to do that measuring. So the question came up, how many sages? In our Mishnah, there was a machloket. One said 3, one said 5. Okay, so now we're going to go into that topic. Tanu Rabbanan, says the Braita. V'yatzu zikanecha v'shoftecha. Based on what the pasuk says, it tells us will go out your elders and your judges. Now, why the use of both languages is what's going to be part of the question. Okay, zikanecha, your elders, 2, shnayim. Shoftecha, again, judges, 2. Ve'ein beit din shakul mosifin alehen od echad. And since you had 4, you can't have an even number of judges. Add 1, that makes 5. Right? Harei kan chamisha divrei Rabbi Yehuda. So that was the view of Rabbi Yehuda. 5 of the Sanhedrin Gadol had to go out. I'm continuing. Rabbi Shimon, okay, what was his view? All right, Omer zikanecha, that's 2. Shnayim, ve'en beit din shakil mosifin alehen od echad. You can't have an even court, and therefore harei kan shlosha. Rabbi Shimon then held it was 3 of the judges. So the Gemara asks, Rabbi Shimon, hi shoftecha. So what then does he do with the word judges in the pasuk, right? Ma yavidle, what does he do with it? Hahu, okay, in this particular case, okay, mibayale lemiuchadim shebashoftecha. He's referring to those that are the right. That's what I was about to say. That are the special ones. Who are we mean the special? Those particularly from the great Sanhedrin. Okay, the Rabbi Yehuda miziknei zikanecha nafka, and Rabbi Yehuda from the word ziknei, zikanecha nafka. He derives ziknei from the words zikanecha. This is how he derives it. All right. In other words, he's going to do a gezerah shava from v'samchu. In a moment, we're going to see that.
Is there any distinction made at this point between the words zikanecha and shoftecha?
No, not really.
Not really. Okay, because that stands out.
Right. For Rabbi Shimon, ziknei, if he had simply learned it from the phrase in the pasuk, okay, that we said was he could have learned it from ziknei. Wouldn't that have been enough? But our pasuk said zikanecha, okay, with a right. That's the case. Hava amina ziknei hashuk. If it had simply said elders, it could have been elders from the marketplace. Ktav Rachmana Zikanecha, but the Torah's language was Zikanecha, your elders. V'ikatav Zikanecha Hava Amina Sanhedre Katana. And if it had simply said your elders, I could have thought, well, maybe that was from a 23 man court, right? All right. So what happens? Katav Rachmana. Therefore, the word in the pasuk is v'shoftecha, and your judges. Okay. Mimiuchadin shebeshoftecha. For among those that are the particular, unique among your judges, which therefore tells you absolutely they're talking about Sanhedrin Gedola. Okay, moving along. The Rabbi Yehuda Gamar Zikne Vesamchu. But what says another view that Rabbi Yehuda learned a Gezerah Shava, Zikne in one place, Zikne in another place, right? From the Pasuk, Vesamchu Zikne Ha'eda im et Yedehem. Okay, when we learned before that they had to put the hands, the elders, from the Sanhedrin Gadol, so he uses that Gezerah Shava here to get that here too, for the Egla Arufa, they had to be judges from the great Sanhedrin, Sanhedrin Gedola. Okay? Malahalan meyuchadim sheba'eda, the same way these are those particular to the congregation, namely here we said Edar is referring to Sanhedrin Gadol. Afkan miyuchadin shebekinecha. So here too, those who unique particular among your elders. Okay. Yalif, and if he wants to expand, Leilef kula mehatam, let him expand and do a drasha from all of it. Zikanecha v'shoftecha, lamali. Why then did our pasuk refer to both of them? Okay, Rabbi, here's your perhaps an answer too. Ella rather, vav v'shoftecha. The vav that's there in shoftecha, so he could be darshaning the vav. Leminyana, okay, that may be for the purpose of the number of judges. Okay, one having said 5, one having said 3, right? Rabbi Shimon, Vavlo Darish. But Rabbi Shimon doesn't darshan the Vav there. Ela me'ata v'yatzu shnayim. But rather from here, we have v'yatzu comes out 2. Umardadu Shnayim, and the pasuk says they measure, so that's another 2. That gives us 4. The Rabbi Yehuda Hare Tish'ah, so that would give Rabbi Yehuda 9, because we had 2 and 2 is 4, plus the previous 5 gives us 9. Okay, that's where we get the 9. The Rabbi Shimon Sheva, and for Rabbi Shimon, then it would be 7. Right? Because you had the 3 and 4 make 7. Right? Okay, everybody with me. And that's necessary the way it's taught as follows. V'yatzu, they went out. Hein v'lo shluchin, they and not their representatives. Umadadu, they measured. She'afilu nimtza ba'alil ir, even if they're found top of the next amud, close to the city. Srich la'asok b'medida. They have to be involved in the measuring.
Even if they found a corpse.
Right. Matnitin, delo ki haitana. Therefore, our Mishnah cannot be according to the following Tana, right? Who says the Tana